let me first thank both of you. Sister Geeta, a big thanks to you. We were trying to catch you up since last 2 years, but destiny. Big thanks to Sister Anjani, because she said, I want to do it as a conversation. And then we were trying to hunt out for people, but some people weren't around. And then it was Sister Geeta. And then thanks. So it's divine destiny, I always feel. So thank you so much, both of you. And Sister Anjani has been with us, but again, I'll introduce her. She always sends only few lines, so I'll be speaking about those few lines. And let's start first with Sister Geeta. She's a very senior instrument at the Brahma Kumaris. I must say, this time we have both the East Coast and the West Coast, the sisters from there. And yesterday, you all know about the big, the earthquake, the shocks which happened on the East Coast. So we have Sister Anjani from the East Coast and Sister Geeta from the West Coast. So let's start with Sister Geeta. She was born in East Africa, and throughout her life, she had the fortune, she says, of being introduced and immersed in both the cultures, the Eastern and the Western. Then she went on to do BCom, the Bachelor's Commerce degree in India, and then worked in London, UK. And then she is on this spiritual path from almost 1979, when she was introduced to the Brahma Kumaris. And then it's almost 45 years now that she's the lead coordinator of the BKs in the Southern California region. And also, just to let all of you know that she also coordinates after Sister Chandru, who left the body a few years ago. So she also looks after the activities of the West Coast of US. She sort of is the caretaker for the entire West Coast. And she, though is based in LA, Los Angeles, but she travels extensively. And also, as I must say, that 45 years of a meditative lifestyle. And coming to Sister Anjani, as we speak, she is right now sitting in the Harmony House, where she's the coordinator for the center there at the Global Harmony House. And very humbly, she's just written that she's been practicing Raj Yoga for over 40 years. So if I combine the experience of both of 40 plus 45, so we have 85 years of meditative experience. So I'm sure we'll have a lot of inspiring words of wisdom from them. And as always, before I give it to them, I still have a minute. I'm watchful of the time. So I always try to introduce in the form of a poem. So a few lines for both of them together. In this fast-paced world, where there's hardly any time to respire, both the wonderful angels from USA shall indeed guide us and inspire with their thought-provoking wisdom, which doesn't at all expire, but indeed motivates us to do more effort and perspire, so that we attain everything in life, all that we aspire, and then there's no room left for fulfilling any other desire. Through their life, they teach us that life is not there to retire, but to keep strengthening the self with the yoga fire, which helps us indeed to deal with the Maya vampire. That is the need of the hour and is indeed very dire. So finally, let's connect ourselves with the Supreme, with the spiritual wire, so that the Supreme always wants me in his service for a higher. So thank you, both of you, once again, and the stage is all yours. So thank you. Over to you. Thank you.
Om Shanti, and good morning from New York. And it would be good evening to some places. It would be good night to some places. And so we are very happy. Now I can speak for myself, that I am very happy and very inspired to join this wonderful family here on Zoom, who is always inspired to be present every Saturday morning for whatever is being shared by the inspiring speakers. Or even your workshop this morning was very inspiring. And so each one has come this morning with a lot of inspiration to share that will inspire everyone's lives to be better, to be of a higher quality, to be better in themselves. And I feel that Manoj Bhai and team, you are great inspirations for all of us. When I think of inspiration, I reflected back to my childhood days. And I asked myself, what was the one most impactful thing besides studying and being with friends and enjoy life as a whole, the goodness of my parents and all of that? What was one thing that stood out from all the people? And I remembered my grandmother. She was a very, powerful source of inspiration that has given me a lot of deep, as we say, sanskars, or helping me to create that deep love for God and for humanity. And when we were little children, she would wake us up early in the morning. We were about 30 grandchildren around her. And all those who were at the age that she could, wake them up, she would make sure that we're up, give us a bath herself, take us, make sure we are all cleaned up, and teach each one of us how to pour water to the sun, repeating the mantra for the sun. And then she would gather all of us together in her prayer room, and we will sit there and do our prayers, chant or the bhajans or whatever is the mantras she will teach us. Then she will also teach us that you can't get up and run because we are late for class, to go into school. So she would say, no, you have to walk quietly. And you have to go and touch the feet of the elders, teaching us respect, teaching us how to love our elders. And so I was remembering her a great deal. And many times in my journey of life, I have remembered her for these special teachings that she has given. But also what was another aspect of her life as an inspiration was going to school. And we were living in an area where, it wasn't roads. It was more like mud dams. And so when the rain would fall, it's not very easy to walk on that. And so she would put the children, and we were living along a river. So she would get all the grandchildren in the boat, and then she would take us to school, come back and take who else she needs to. And when it's tea time, we would take our lunch to school, but we used to have our after school lessons. She would bring tea and some snacks and all of that. But she never watched out only for the many grandchildren that she had. She made the whole neighborhood children who were going to school, they all became her children. They all became her grandchildren, in fact. And she was looking out for the whole community. And we had a temple in the area. She would always be the leader in the temple to lead for all the work that has to happen, whether the temple need to be rebuilt, whether there are the festivals coming up, whether inspiring the people to come out on a Sunday morning and let's pray together, inspiring them to come out one day in the week, let's do kirtan singing. She was always inspiring people to do something. Inspiring our parents even, in different ways, different aspects. And she held together a very big family. Of course, there were times that there were many challenges, but she has never stopped in those challenges, those moments that challenged her. She never stopped. She always found a way out to move forward in life. And reflecting on her life and the many, many more stories, I find that she has always been an inspiration for me. When I think of my everyday life for myself, I ask myself, what inspires me the most? What is it that I have found in myself that can inspire me to be inspired to enjoy the life I'm living, this journey that I'm on? And I find that this quality of love, it's a quality that I feel that loving God has, the seeds were sown from when I was a child. But coming now and belonging to God has made a great difference in terms of this quality of love. So every day I wake up feeling inspired to listen to what my lesson has to be, so that I can live my day today in a different way, in a beautiful way, in a more experiential way, in something that is going to give me that which I haven't had before. I know that my study is going to take me to another step, which is closer to an aim that I'm carrying within myself. It's like today's lesson: wasteful relationships and connections empty your spiritual account. So therefore, finish all wastefulness. Now, how am I going to go through today looking at this thought that will inspire me that my spiritual income, my spiritual account with God, my spiritual account with everyone I come in contact with, it has no waste in it, but it's in fact increasing, because I'm investing something that is more profoundly beautiful, and that is whether it's my remembrance, or whether it's sharing something of my journey or my attainments that I've gotten from God or each other, sharing that with everyone. So it creates a feeling of inspiration. And so there is abundance. And I would say at every step of our lives, there might be things that we will feel that I can't be inspired by it, or someone will not inspire me because they're doing things in a certain way. But what I've learned is that everyone I'm getting inspired by, even when someone is expressing something that's not so pleasant, what I'm learning now is that I can transform that, I can change that with the quality that I have inside of me, the quality of love, or the quality of respect, or the quality of seeing the specialities in everyone and in everything. I'm learning from everything. And that's such a big form of inspiration, because one can tend to go into the negative thinking. One could tend to go in a thinking that it's not going to give me benefit, and I create waste. But it's to see that and be able to find benefit in something that's not beneficial is very inspiring. And here in New York, I live with Sister Mohini, and Sister Mohini is a very big source of inspiration. And I see that there are certain qualities that she lives by. It's like principles of life. And those principles of life that she demonstrates in her life, one is the power of silence. I noticed that many times people will go to her and ask her something, and I see that she pauses. I see that she doesn't give an answer at the same time, or she would somewhere get back to them later on, or whatever the case may be. But when she emerges with a thought, it is a thought of solution. It's a thought of benefit. So that has inspired me a lot. And as I said, there are many things around her that I see that life creates a constant source of inspiration, even all those I'm living with, all the sisters, the brothers, the friends, those who come here. At every step, life has a lot of treasures to give to us, but I have to see it. I have to see it through that lens. I have to see it through that vision. Then my life becomes a life of fullness. And so really, I say, everyone, you're all doing wonderful in this. And my dear sister Geeta from LA is a source of inspiration for me. What inspires me a lot about Sister Geeta, I've known her for, I think, about maybe 38 years, 38, 39 years. And I've seen the seed qualities in the soul that has nurtured, and it has kind of blossomed and bloom her, that what I'm seeing today is how it came from that seed. And she had always been very gentle, very sweet, very soft-spoken, very loving. There is a lot of caring in her personality. And you know what? She's the best of hosts. I'd gone to visit LA recently, was November, and I got sick. And she took care of me like a mother taking care of a child, with so much love, even bringing my breakfast to bed. And I thought, isn't this inspiring? You know, we can think of inspiration in many big ways, and we try to understand what things means in our lives. But the simple act of kindness, the simple act of love, the simple act of helping someone in a moment of need is a big source of inspiration. And so Sister Geeta has really inspired me through the journey of my life in many different ways. And so, Sister Geeta, I am so happy the two of us are together this morning to share on this topic. And so I'm sure the family is waiting to hear from you. And so let's hear from you. What's your source of inspiration?
Om Shanti. Manoj Bhai, I'm sorry that have to wait long, but I think so. Waited for Anjani Ban to come, and she can also join with me to have this value-based program. So I'm sure you understand why I'm waited, according to drama. And while Anjani Ban was sharing her experience, I just went back to my childhood. And the two symbols came in front of me, which one was the spider web and second was the flying bird. When I actually childhood more stayed in the boarding house and study because of the situations in Africa was becoming very bad. And my father was thinking where the good educations that my children can receive. So he sent us to India, and I'm glad that I got chance to stay in India and really have that foundations of the good sanskaras, what our culture gave. So when I was in a college, and I don't wanted to go in college because I studied in a girls' high school, and then when we college, there are both mixing boys and girls. I wanted something that which my heart says, yes, I done something in this my life. So I told my father, I don't want to go to college. And he gave me the example of the spider. And he says, see how many times spider climbed and how many times he fall, but he never give up to really reaches their destination. So if you not studied now in the life when you are moving forward, then you will regret in your life. And by hearing that story, I got that inspirations that no matter what, let me focus at least 1 degree I can achieve. And then afterwards, I will see what I have to do. And then my mother, from the childhood, I remember that she always says internally, you have to be like a bird, like free, never caught up into anyone's, like, because as a child, you always have that sometimes sulking nature, sometimes you are not like a obey, but she trained us in a such a way, not just with the words, but she was also like with the act, we learn a lot. And that was my like main foundation about that. And instantly, then I came to Baba's not this spiritual knowledge. And in a spiritual knowledge, I got the first thing, play the part with Dadi Janki. And she was very good teacher. And because my background was living in the boarding house with such a discipline, and that what I observed that how much Dadi was following Baba Shrimat, and she was so much like I can say very strict teacher, but now so much like appreciating that if that foundation was not that time, I don't think so what I am right now. I had really achieved that things. Adi Janki taught me, underline it, Julie, never say no. And when first in 1984, when Sister Chandru was here and she needed one sister to work with her, and same times Mohini Didi also needed one Kumari to play the part there also in New York. So Dadi just told me one time, leave your job and just go and go to America. And during that time, very Buddha in the sense, very innocent, don't know where America, where anything. But then because Dadi taught us, always say Hanji. And when you say Hanji means yes, please, then naturally Baba and Rama will be very cooperative. So living with my family, and Dadi told me to go. And so inside was thought, I don't know how to give knowledge. I don't know how. So everything negative like side, I don't know. That word was appear when I was in the plane. And first time I traveled by myself. And so next moment, the powerful thought came. And I felt that Baba says, who is sending you? And then when as soon as I felt that this is Baba's service and Baba is the one who decided that I can go to America. And that moment, I really fell in so much deep love with Baba that he is the current Karavanar and I'm just a simply Karnar. So when I arrived New York, we had a Dadi Gulzar was coming. And because of Dadi Gulzar, Dadi sent me to America. And so connecting more deeply with Dadi Janki and then afterwards played my part with Dadi Gulzar. When I came to San Francisco, during that time, I don't know how to give the 7 days lesson because in the London, we are more like a helper. Whatever Dadi says, Hanji, and we majority times our partners playing in the office and Karma Yoga also. And so here, after Dadi Gulzar, like Sister Chandru went with Dadi Gulzar on a tour. And then Sister Chandru says, okay, this is all the students are coming, so you have to give knowledge. So never says no, that word was so like in front of me. And I told Baba, I says, Baba, whoever the instrument, whoever your children are coming in front of me, you are the one who have to give the knowledge. And really, I see how Baba really help in each and every task about that. But before, prior to that, when I left India and was coming to London, Bab Dada, during that time, Baba was coming in the history hall. And Baba personally give that blessings about that child never experienced or never felt that you are alone. Always Bab Dada, combined form you can experience about. And wherever you go, Bab Dada is with you. And you don't have to go for service. Service will come to you. And then when I came, especially in 85 to San Francisco, hardly any student, one or two or three in whole day, nothing. Compare in London, every day 200 brother and sister in the morning class, and here only. Then there was a little like entering of Maya, how I can survive like that, because I'm a people person. And again, one of the mother came and she says, Sister, I want to ask you one question. She said that whoever comes here, you all are consider yourself as a Raj Yogi. And why in the word you says liking, disliking? Like I don't like here. And internally I was like smiling and I says, Baba, you are very clever. You gave me the answer through this soul that very true, that you dedicate your life for the spiritual service. So in that, there is no expectation. I like or I don't like. And since that, I underline, I'm here to serve. I'm here to whatever I experience, I have to share through my vibrations or through my spiritual behavior, my spiritual interaction. And that what inspires me by watching, observing what Sister Anjani says. Every soul has so many inner beauty that my focus should be in that beauty. But if I see in that present time, then I don't think so I can really recognize them. And that also I got the inspirations and also learned from Avyak Bab Dada. During that time, Avyak Bab Dada was meeting personally, one to one, and I was a little bit like a bugger. But from the beginning, Baba used to come at 6 p.m. to next day, like sometimes 6 or 10. I never move from there, and I'm observed that what Baba is giving the blessings to this particular soul, that means that's my blessings too. And Baba never, like sometimes the soul's like having so much emotional feeling, and so they have a tears in their eyes, and until that soul is not happy, Baba never leave them. So I learned from that, and I got inspirations from that, that you don't see the present form of the soul, but you see what they are originally. So that was really so nice to learn about and experience about, that each and every soul have so much inner beauty, that my focus is on that. Naturally, their beauty also come out, and they can also be experience that happiness. So many experience what Baba gave, all the senior gave, and by hearing today also with all of you, so much really have to learn and also inspires others.
Wonderful sharing. Experiences of everyone's life is very inspiring. everyone who was sharing had a story to tell in some way or another. And we get inspired because why? I want to be better in myself. If I like the way I am and the things I'm doing, and I don't have an aim in life, and I don't see that there is something more to life, we're not going to be inspired. I'm going to just expect or experience or accepting life as my destiny, or what's happening around me. I see it as someone's mistake, someone's everything. You know, they did this, they said this, and this outer expression of all these things. And I'm kind of stuck in that, of seeing all the things that you know someone else is doing. But to be inspired really by the things which are not pleasant, by our challenges, and finding the gem in those challenges, and take those challenges and make it become like my swinging rope towards moving forward. It takes a lot of inner reflection. It takes a lot of inner inspiration to want to ascend, to want to go higher on this spiritual journey. Because there are many things that we could easily get stuck with. So life on hold is an inspiration. Geeta Ben, tell us one profound story of Daddy Gulzar. What you have learned from her life. It could be what she has said to you. It could be what you have seen that has stayed with you, it has molded you in some way, you know, that helps to make things easy as you move forward on this journey of life.
I learned from both of Daddy Janki and Daddy Gulzar about the silence. One time we had a meeting with Daddy Janki, and suddenly Daddy got the stomach pain. The pain was very kind of severe, and she just signal like this, means one moment, like silence. So in that one minute, like silence, she went in, she closed her eyes and she went in a silence. And then she came back and she started where her conversation was stopped. And then continuation. Then afterwards, one of the sister asked Daddy, Daddy, how your pain disappear? She says that pain was bigger, like painful. And during that time, even I forget Baba's remembers that was the pain. But because of this, in a 1 minute of silence, I calm down that pain because I detach from that pain, and I just I don't want it to stuck into the body, and I just wanted what Baba have a role with me. So what I learned from that any times when bodily sickness comes, how much our body is pulling and our whole concentration power goes on that, and the pain bigger like a bigger. But when I'm really detaching from that pain and remembering like the Baba, so what happened that detachment from the body will give us that spiritual strength, and whatever task you are doing, you are continuous. So whenever bodily sickness comes, I remember like she's my inspirational that in that also age, how she actually made manage, I can also do that. And touch wood, it's really helping me. Nadi Guzar, she was not too much use the words, but with her drishti and with her silence is really makes the thing such a kind of a move in a very divine ways. Daddy was very royal. I do remember one time, um, very personal experience about I came from um, Los Angeles, and it was like long journey. It's almost like 36 hours to reach that Mount Tabu, and it was a little bit evening time. So I freshened up self and I went to Daddy's room, and afterwards I was little like kind of sleepy. So I told Daddy's right hand Niluban that I'm going to my room and I want to rest. And Daddy says, no, just go and rest in a next room, like her room, and there was another room. Just go there, rest. And you know that 13 and a half hour time difference. And when I went, I just fell asleep. And it was midnight, almost like a 10 o'clock. And Daddy was asking the sister that if she awake, she will be hungry. So where we can keep the food? The sister says we'll keep the food in the kitchen so she will eat. And Daddy says how she will know the food is in the kitchen. So let's make near the bed so then when she awakes, at least she will eat. They make Daddy was giving them guidance how to put the dish, where to put spoon, and the food should be warm in this like hot place you can put. And then in the morning, when the sisters like shared the story, I had a loving tears that who am I that Dadi had to think about that the food become like warm and she is when she awakes she will be hungry. So I she became like an inspiration that whoever comes in our life and so how you treat each and every souls they are a royal person. So really, I learned from that. And then at the end, I got the fortune to be there when Dadi left the body. And during that time, last like weeks, 2 or 3 weeks ago, what I experienced about that Dadi's more communication with Drishti. And during that time, one of the Dadi's doctor, when he came, and he was very kind of little bit in a worry. So Dadi just looked at him, and there was a picture, and in that picture, like Baba's picture, and written in that, why you are worried? I am there. So Dadi simply give the with the signal, the eye like signal, that picture. So doctor also looked that picture and he got his answer. Second time when he came, he had to make very decision. So he was a little bit pale. And Dadi just that with that vibrations, there was another picture, and it's written, no matter what, your happiness should not go. So Dadi with the drishti, she only looked at picture. So doctor also see that picture. And then he got this answer. So I was watching, observing that with the drishti, with the signal, how much you don't need the words because words is also like energy, unnecessary. But with that silence, drishti, how much you can communicate also. So that was like seeing that in our mind, sometimes the waste thought and that waste thought also, Baba says, within a second, you put the full stop. But by practicing this way, that with that inner silence, you can achieve, you can attain, you can inspire, you can share anything with that power. That much like Baba, all these dadis of your Bab Dada really taught us how to be your inner silence. So that was my really kind of powerful like experience about.
Yeah, quite interesting. And that reminds me, Geeta Ben is talking about Dadi Janki and her method of how she dealt with her body. And I have seen Dadi in in very crucial moments, really, with her body. It's like real big challenge. And how she goes into that deep state of silence, stay with Baba, and then emerge to play her part like nothing happened a couple of hours ago or the evening before, and she's there in the morning conducting Amrit Vela as though there was nothing, or even a few hours later, she's in the class. I've seen her in Peace Village quite a bit when that has happened. And that actually inspired me in my personal life, that when I had to go through challenges with my body, big time challenges, and where it was surgeries and it was chemo and it was all these things that was happening. And for me, it was like a breeze. It was like, as they say, just like a cool wind that just blows through, and you remain uninfluenced, unaffected, not feeling any pressure of any kind from what's happening to the body. And because we have learned this art from seeing our seniors, how they have separated their consciousness from the physical. So it's a very deep source of inspiration for anyone who goes through challenges of the body, of the physical. What's my step? What do I do? How do I step away from going into suffering and just being the light, being in my own light and being in the light with God, and feeling this relationship and companionship to make everything become so easy and very natural. And so Dadi Janki was that source of inspiration for me. And when I met her, it was like I was out of the hospital during my time of chemo. I used to have to go into the hospital regularly because I was like, being affected by it more than it's like an allergic reaction in a way. So every treatment was taking me to the hospital, and I never could have finished the treatment. So then Dadi said to me when she saw me, and it was just like a few days when I was out of the hospital, I left the hospital and said, I have to go and meet Dadi. She was coming to Peace Village. And when she saw me, she hugged me. She said, "You're Prakriti Jeet, right? You're conqueror of matter." And that has stayed with me, that this is a blessing. So one is inspiration of one's life. The other is when they speak from their own experience of inspiration. Their words are not telling something to you, but they're blessing you. It's giving you a strength, it's giving you an insight, it's giving you a power that you realize that when there are moments that other difficulties and challenges come up with the body or with anything, you realize that these challenges, you can face them because of blessings. And so life becomes easy with that. And so even when I think of my grandmother's story, I feel that the seeds that she has sowed in the soul of holding a big family and creating this relationship of love among everyone and all these beautiful things, she sowed the seeds that being here in New York, I'm not in Harmony House for just Harmony House, Baba's children, but I'm here in New York because Sister Mohini is here. And of course, she is the regional coordinator, and now she's the administrative head, additional administrative head for the organization. And being here it's a lot of players and a lot of things that goes on the drama. And what is also seen from us being here. So putting all those things, you have to be inspired in yourself from these souls and how they play their part And so when I think of Moini Didi, I think that she plays her role in a very, very interesting way. And when I say interesting, because there's a lot of detachment. There is a lot of detachment from her personality, from what she thinks, from what maybe of her own self. And she puts all of that aside and just go to God, go to the Supreme Source, go to the daddies, the seniors, the elders for her, go to Brahma Baba's life and pull and extract those jewels, or what did they do and how did they do it, and all of that, and guide us in terms of how can we grow, how can we become more rich and more supportive and sustaining in this yagya. And so it's not an organization. I always say that we don't belong to an organization. We belong to God. And what God has created and taught us, we have taken that and organized ourselves to serve in this yagya. Yagya is all of us coming together in this beautiful, godly, sacred space, the space of love, the space of peace, the space of happiness, but most important is the space of purity. And so all of us coming together in this beautiful space, what are we creating for the world? We're creating that, and each one of us in this program today, and those who are out into the world there and will one day listen to this, each one of you, you are a source of inspiration for the world in some way. But what I need to do is to remember. I need to remember that whatever I think, whatever I do, whatever I speak, anything that I am part of, when I'm in the awareness of who I am, whom I belong to, where I'm going in this journey, whom I'm meeting in this journey, we will find that inspiration will emerge very easily and naturally. I don't have to look for inspiration. I don't have to think of inspiration. I don't have to be puzzled in life about what's happening. Even the earthquake yesterday was a source of inspiration. So everything becomes an inspiration in our life that will create newness. It will create experiences. It will create that which will take me to a higher place within myself. And that's where each one of us want to go. We want to go to a different place. So I would say, let's find and discover every day whatever I'm seeing and touching and being with through these senses. Can I change my vision if it's going in a wrong way, to create not so pleasant experiences, but change it and see that in that which I feel that it's not helping me to be beautiful inside, let me find out, let me take a moment to discover that something is there which is wanting to offer me, but I'm closing my vision to it. Let me find it. So I have to give myself, move to that place of silence and quietness again and again, so that I can experience what is it that I want to experience, to change the circumstances in my life that removes me from a life of inspiration, whether for myself, whether for others, in whatever I do. I'm not too sure how much more time we have.
No, so we have 15 more minutes, so you can carry on next 10 minutes also. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. And so, Geeta Ben, in your personal life, what is that quality you find that you have that sometimes is being challenged? You know, that sometimes our goodness challenges us. And so what is that quality that you find you have in you that sometimes it's being challenged, but you You've used your different methods and means to hold on to it and is being able to use it regardless what's the situation.
Silence power, I can say. And what I really experienced about then, I learned from Dadi Gulzar about the last like kinds of moment. During that time, there was a COVID was going on, and there was so much announcement from the Madhuban that Dadi Gulzar's health is not good, so we all should like meditate and send our good vibrations. And what I saw that time, that Dadi became an like an instrument, and because of that, everyone got chance to do more yoga power and strengthen themselves, because so many sorrows and negativity and worried was around in the world. And because of this power of silence and meditating, everybody more like I can experience became a mature and grown up also. But Dadi became a, like an instrument during that time. And the practice, what I observe about these 3 years, detachment from the body. Maybe souls was like thinking about why Dadi's is like God's like chariot and why she's sick. But it was her time, because 1969 to 2017, unconditionally, long hour times that he gave the service to Baba's children and a yagya also. And but that 3 years was the observations of detachment from the body. And whenever any challenge comes, whenever sometimes blame also some unnecessary comes, but that like detachment from the body and bodily relations or bodily any types of the around us, when I'm detached about that, it's not affecting the soul. And it's not easy. And that's why saying that it's like every now and then, this is the practice of detachment helps us to be myself and what the divine being have a part for me. I can focus, play, and again detach. So what I'm practicing last and again observation of Sister Chandru 2 years prior to that, and something like divinity appear in her, and constantly from her mouth there was a 3 words was appearing, and that was really very inspirations for me. Every now and then she was telling that we are so fortunate, and being a Brahmins, if we can see that what we receive in this our spiritual this life, it's our fruit of good karma, that we belong or we are in a spiritual path. Second thing she was always says, be loving. And her form was totally was so much loving, caring, even before we know that certain things she didn't like it. But then afterwards, she was so much love. And that was that whoever comes in front of me, whether they are challenging me or whether they are negative about or criticize about, but still my focus is on the soul and loving being. And third, because of she got the stroke like 5 times, and her memories in some area when she was speaking, the words was not coming out. And very divine smile, she says, never mind. She never feel like guilty about, oh, these words is not or any types of sorrow or pain, but so much divine smile. And that was learning that no matter what challenges come from the outside, you should never let go of your divinity, your spirituality, or your divine manners about. I only can say to all of you that we always have so much conversations with God, Supreme Being, Baba. So instead of that, now listen to Baba and listen to your heart. We know actually, we know the question, what the challenge comes from outside. Sometimes we know that, but we don't have that sometimes courage, or we are so much caught up about that negativity, so you don't know the answer. But every minute, if you listen to your heart, you know what to say, what not to say. And when you listen to Baba, he constant inspiring us what to do, what not to do. And if I listen these two things, our journey is very smooth. And that's what I learned from all these our dadis and from all of you also, that how we can really live this life very happily.
Right. And when I think of my last thoughts on inspiration, I would say, when I can't be inspired by myself, or I can't be inspired by the people around me, or any of the things, they're kind of on the back burner at that moment, and you're faced by situations that take away your happiness, your zeal and enthusiasm, find Mother Nature. She's beautiful. She's always giving. I was remembering seeing Shruti Ben, how she took me to the Grand Canyon and how beautiful that was, you know. And then I look at spring right now. You know, some can get stuck in the cold days, but you know, just to think that it's spring, you go out there, watch the beautiful flowers emerging, the fragrance of the flowers, you know, it's like so much. The birds returning, nature is just creating a whole beautiful world, new world around us. There is so much to be inspired by. You know, but I have to, as I said before, I've got to see it. I've got to realize that I must not get stuck in anything, but just see around you. There is lots to be inspired by at every step. I think we're going to take 2 minutes and just have a couple of minutes of remembrance. And so let's sit quietly and let's see, what is it that I have within myself now that I'm aware of, that I feel inspired. I could be inspired for mastering the art of how I use this body. I could be inspired by going out and being with Mother Nature, or even being inspired by being with those who create difficulties even in my life. And to see that there is nothing like difficulties. I just need to be inspired to find the goodness, to find the specialities, to find the beauty. And everything changes in 1 second. The more I remember, the changes happen in 1 second's thought. It becomes a source of power. It becomes a source of strength to reach God, to be with God, and to receive His powers, whether in the form of wisdom, whether in the form of a pure thought, in the form of feeling and experiencing that which the soul needs. is very inspiring. I just need to be in that awareness, reminding myself that inspiration is like the breath of my life. To see newness, to be new, to live a renewed life every day. In our hearts, let's give this feeling of gratitude to everyone, everything, in whatever form it comes in front of us. Let the heart feel as though it's saying, thank you. Thank you for inspiring me to be a better person. Let's have 30 seconds where our hearts speaks to everyone, everything, and to be with God. Om Shanti. Om Shanti, and thank you everyone. Geeta Ben, it was lovely to be with you here today too.
Okay, so thank you so much. And before we let you all go, I'll just request Sister Claudia to please propose the vote of thanks. Over to you. Yeah, thank you.
Om Shanti. Good morning. It's so nice to have both of you together with us. So it's very inspiring. And I was just listening about the childhood. So I can see, like, when we have a good childhood, so many things our parents teach us, no? So we use throughout the whole time that we are in this body. So they are going to remember things that they told us how to do in life. And very inspired also, I like to see Geeta Ben, when she's very detached and very silent. And Anjani also very loving as well. So yeah, through times, like when we are going through difficult times. I remember Daddy, one time I was meeting her with my husband, and Daddy was so frail, so weak. And then the sister was saying, Daddy, you need to go to talk. There's lots of people waiting. So she got up and she went, and then he was saying, how can she go? She's so frail. But when she got there, she was another Daddy. So much power coming through her. And I never forget that, because I could see the picture before and after when she got there. And so many times that inspires me a lot too. No matter what is happening in our life, we need to just let go and then do whatever we have to do. Like right now, with so many things happening in my life too. And then still challenge comes from outside as well. So that's, we have to go back, like Gita said, Daddy Guzar, just go detach and just go into silence, because silence is going to bring us the power to face whatever comes. So I was very inspired to listen to both of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And very nice to meet you too.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much, Sister Claudia. And before we wrap up, I'll just request Sister Anu, if you can please set up for the photograph, and I'll just do the quick announcements in the next minute. So that People are aware of the next. So let's move on to the next episode, a beautiful number 88. We have covered compassion in the past, but we felt compassion is different from both these pathies, sympathy and empathy. And in the medical world, these two, there's always a bit of tussle argument. What should doctors and paramedics be or nurses, empathetic or sympathetic? So we'll see that with Sister Moira, who will be joining us from Argentina the next Saturday. And again, we have another combo of two Rajyogi sisters who are Alokik sisters and also very much Lokik. Now we move on from USA to Canada. And again, one is from East Coast, Montreal, Sister Tanya, and Sister Judy, not from the West, but the mountain time close to the West Coast, Sister Judy from Calgary. And both of these sisters will be having a beautiful conversation as we are having today very much. Again, the East Coast and West Coast on the sympathy and empathy aspect of the values. And as always, we'll be starting our journey for the next 2 weeks, revising the Murlis, what the Supreme Being has told us in the versions on sympathy and empathy as well. And this is an elegant calendar for the April month. We'll be sending it to you all in the emails when we send you all the review materials. These are our websites and our email addresses, and all these are recorded, the workshops and the episodes. Please feel free to, we'll be sending in the emails, so you can please feel free to watch the ones which you have missed, and kindly share your comments and feedback if any. With this, I'll just stop sharing the screen and over to Sister.
It's time for photograph with our beautiful two senior sisters in spirituality. They have inspired us so deeply. They've reminded us also about Chandruben and Mohini Didi, other than Dadi, both Dadis actually. So it's really, heart is full, inspired, then show the smile, open your video. You like to view the photo? Everyone? Yes, I got the photo. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So we have already had the meditation. So we'll just have 1 minute drishti and then depart. So you can spotlight.
Now is the time to sing of the love, the joy inside, the presence it's so divine. So let us begin to dance with the grace, the beauty within, the grace and the beauty we are. So open up the heart that sees this presence so divine. Behold the light in everyone. Let your beauty shine. And now is the time to sing of love, the joy inside, the presence it's so divine. So let us begin to dance with the grace and the beauty within, the grace and the beauty we are. So open up the heart that sees this presence so divine. Behold the light
So thank you so much once again.
Thank you. See you again, everyone. Thank you, both sisters.
Thank you. Thank you.